Welcome back to Flick Favorites. I'm going to explain an action, crime, thriller film from 2015, titled, Sicario. Spoilers ahead. Enjoy the content. Under the direction of Kate Macer and Reggie Wayne, the FBI conducts a raid on a complex in Chandler, Arizona. Reggie finds a hole in a wall during the operation and learns that it was intended to conceal something. They are horrified to discover decomposing dead bodies wrapped in plastic after digging deeper. An explosion outside the facility kills 2 cops and injures Kate as they explore the mounds of victims concealed behind every wall in the property. The next day, the operation's specifics are made public, indicating that 48 dead corpses were discovered within the property, but no one's identity has been revealed. Following this stunning occurrence, the FBI authorities and Matt, the CIA representative, meet in public at the FBI headquarters. In the meeting, Kate is invited to participate and is given information on the Sonora cartel, including information about its boss Manuel Diaz, his brother Guillermo, and another member, Alarcón. After the initial encounter, she is summoned by her superiors, who notify her of the formation of an interdepartmental group to dismantle the Sonora cartel. Despite being informed of the mission's seriousness, she decides to participate. Silvio, a policeman in Mexico, leads a typical family life and frequently plays soccer with his kid. Kate and Reggie travel to Luke Air Force Base to join the squad, but Reggie is unable to enter since Kate is the only FBI agent authorized to participate in this unique task force. Alejandro Gillick joins Kate and Matt as they take off aboard a private plane for Mexico. Kate inquires about the mission specifics as he mentions that he has experience with such ventures in Mexico, but he withholds any information. They join the rest of the task team, which also includes members of the CIA and U.S. Marshals, when they get at the U.S. military base in Mexico. Kate tries to talk to Alejandro once again, but he says nothing at all, leaving her feeling alienated since she does not understand why she was included on the team. She challenges Matt about the circumstance, claiming she is not obligated to carry out Alejandro's instructions if he does not include her in the task. In response to her worries, Matt persuades her to stick with the squad if she wants to track out the true perpetrators of the Arizona tragedy. The federal police accompany them as they set off on their adventure and arrive in Juarez, Mexico. She doesn't understand why there is so tight security, but she quickly learns why when they come across bodies with mutilations hanging in the city center. The driver discloses that the neighborhood is a center for a drug gang, which uses harsh punishments like this to instill terror in the community. When they hear gunshots and are instructed to move swiftly, she becomes even more scared. A small facility is raided by the force, who quickly locate Guillermo. Alejandro encourages Kate not to trust anybody while on the trip and cautions her about the local police while they wait outside. Their convoy encounters a traffic block on the way back. When Alejandro tells Kate to prepare for a battle, Kate is worried. She is surprised to see how many gang members, including a few federal police officers, are killed by her squad, but no one gives her any explanation. The squad returns to the base and passes Guillermo over, but Kate again quarrels with Matt over surprise assassinations in public and questions her decision to join the force. He dismisses her fears once more and advises her to research how such surgeries are conducted. Alejandro encounters a local policeman in the meanwhile, who tells him of a tunnel that drug traffickers use to carry cocaine into the U.S. Alejandro meets Matt in the investigation room after speaking with him, and there they torture Guillermo, who admits there is a tunnel that goes beneath the border from Nogales to Arizona. An cop brings Kate to show her the uncomfortability of the city as they probe him. He says it's occurring because of the deaths they conducted earlier as she watches the clashes between the cops and the criminals. Reggie joins the crew after returning to the U.S. at Kate's request, and Matt urges them to visit a nearby camp housing undocumented immigrants. She asks Matt to explain why he is looking into them, but he simply tells her to continue watching. Reggie objects to their strategy and asks Matt about it. Matt replies that they are looking for the tunnel Guillermo told them about near Nogales, which is where it may be. Alarcón, Manuel Diaz's boss, will be compelled to summon him to Mexico as a result of the disruption they are causing, he continues, and they will be able to learn more about him and the intricacies of the Sonora cartel. After hearing his justifications, Reggie is happy but requests that he keep them updated on his plans moving forward. Kate continues to look for information on the crimes in Nogales after returning to Arizona, but she is unable to uncover any details regarding the gang members. The next day, Reggie pays Kate a visit at her apartment to talk about the matter once again and warns her not to trust Matt and Alejandro. They eventually reach a motel where they take part in another briefing on the tunnels. They are told that the tunnels directly connect to Arizona, but owing to the grip of the local drug lords, the region is off limits and even the authorities are unable to intervene. Following the briefing, Matt reveals his next move, which is to rob the neighborhood bank where Manuel Diaz's money is being laundered. When Diaz withdraws money from the bank, the squad waits outside and kills one of her teammates there. After learning more about her, Kate believes they can make a case for it and talks to Matt about it. Although he argues with her and attempts to dissuade her from returning to the bank, she ignores him and goes there anyhow, where she is observed. She learns from the manager that every day, more than $90,000 is placed into the same bank account. He provides the financial proof of the money trail, which Kate believes should be investigated in order to bring a case against Manuel. When she tells Matt about her plan, he interrupts her and says that calling him to Mexico is the better option rather than having him arrested. When Kate returns to the headquarters, her seniors disagree with her and believe that a case won't be enough to bring the drug lords to justice. Kate urges them to launch a case on the bank deposits. They reveal that Matt is causing widespread disruptions in their land in an effort to get them to leave. Additionally, they say that because Matt and Alejandro were employed by the High Command and are currently carrying out their direct commands, they are unable to oppose them. Reggie introduces her to his buddy and fellow police officer, Ted, in a pub after the briefing. They get along well right away, and Kate brings him home while having a sexual relationship with him. However, she soon finds out that he is also covertly working for the cartel. She gets alarmed about him, but he finds out and attacks her. She tries to fight back, but loses the struggle, as he begins strangling her, but Alejandro arrives and saves her life. As she begins to feel better, Matt and Alejandro admit they used her as bait because they anticipated the cartel would learn about her from the bank's security cameras and attempt to attack her. She is angered by it, but Matt believes they should enjoy their victory because they already had the lead. She tells Reggie that it is not his fault because he was unaware of his covert affiliation with the cartel when he apologized to her for introducing her to Ted. Matt and Alejandro question Ted in the background. He reveals the identities of his colleagues cops who are collaborating with the cartels on both sides of the border after enduring horrendous torture. Kate expresses gratitude to Alejandro for saving her life and regrets getting close to Ted, but he advises her to focus on the objective because they must return to Mexico. The squad locates the tunnels and makes plans to raid them while Silvio informs his kid that he is heading on a covert operation. When Kate joins the group, Matt goes over their plan for breaking into the tunnels from Mexico while setting up detours to get to Diaz. After realizing they are once again being ignored in the mission, Kate asks Matt about the purpose behind their inclusion in the team, to which he reveals it's a technical necessity, as the CIA cannot operate within the borders, without a local agency attached. When she talks about it with Reggie, he becomes upset with their approach and advises they go back, but she refuses and says she wants to stay with the team to learn what their true goal is. Silvio assists the cartel in transporting drugs as they move closer to the tunnels, proving to be one of their collaborators. The crew prepares to start the operation after reaching the border. As soon as they enter the tunnels, they come under heavy fire from several directions. Alejandro emerges through the tunnel, preventing Silvio on the other side from having enough time to discharge the narcotics and flee. After killing the driver, he turns on Silvio and tries to kidnap him, but Kate, who followed him to Mexico, stops him. She begs him to leave Silvio, but he shoots her in the vest before driving away with Silvio. Reggie discovers Kate is absent from the squad after Matt, who is now in the US, congratulates his team on a job well done. She shows up and attacks Matt as they prepare to turn around to look for her, but he forces her to listen to his justification. When she asks him about Alejandro, Matt responds that he formerly led a cartel, and his gang was in charge of the drug trade on both sides of the border. He claims that Alarcon killed his wife and abused his daughter while he was a prosecutor in Mexico, and that Alejandro is seeking to get revenge on Alarcon. He admits that this operation is simply a small part of their larger strategy, which included uniting many cartels into one to make them easier for the United States to organize. After listening to him, Kate wants to tell everyone in the agency the truth, but he prevents her from doing so. Alejandro, meantime, stops Diaz's automobile using Silvio and then tempts him outside. Alejandro kills Silvio despite the fact that he obeys his instructions. He then makes Diaz take him to his superior. When they go to Alarcon's destination, he murders the other guards and enters the building using Diaz's identity. After confronting Alarcon about his wife and daughter, he finds him and murders him along with his family. The next day, Alejandro pays Kate a visit at her apartment and requests that she sign a legal paper as evidence that the mission was legitimate. She first rejects his requests, but eventually caves after being coerced by him. She raises a pistol at him as soon as he leaves her flat, but she is unable to fire. Silvio's kid waits for his father to get back in Mexico, but when he does not, his mother decides to take him to a soccer game. While playing, they may hear gunshots, but they soon pick up where they left off. Thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to subscribe if you want to stay updated on future videos. Leave a like to support the channel.